The WNBA has seen a surge in viewership and ratings in 2024, largely due to Caitlyn Clark's arrival and her stellar rookie season. The former Iowa superstar has helped elevate the league, but her comments also shed light on some of the challenges the NBA has faced recently, particularly a noticeable dip in viewership. According to an NBA official statement, the league struggled with lower ratings in recent years, with 4 of the least watched NBA finals in the past decade occurring in the last 4 seasons. This decline in cable viewership is not unique to the league, as virtually all sports are experiencing similar decreases. However, NBA viewership is only down 3% compared to last year, as opposed to the -18% reported last month. Numerous factors contribute to year-over-year changes, including a 13% decline in cable viewership compared to last year. In an appearance on the New Heights with Jason and Travis Kelce podcast, Caitlyn Clark offered her thoughts on the decline in NBA ratings. One of her observations was that casual basketball fans often don't appreciate just how skilled NBA players are. "I feel like the average basketball fan doesn't understand how good NBA players are and they think they're not trying. I promise you, they're trying. They're just so good it looks like they're not trying." Clark also weighed in on the evolving style of play in the NBA, suggesting that the physicality of the game has changed. "The physicality of the league has changed a lot," she added. "I wasn't around when it was much more physical. Maybe people want more beef and physicality and people think play has gone soft. I think the skill has just changed. It's gonna be different than when MJ played. It's gonna be different in 10 years than it is now." Clark also identified competition from football as another key factor contributing to the NBA's struggles with viewership. "It's competing against a lot of football right now," she noted. "You have to take that into consideration. Football is just America's favorite thing." While viewership was down at the start of the season due to a variety of factors like the Yankees-Dodgers World Series, the presidential election and some injuries to key star players, and a double-digit decline in overall cable viewership growth is seen as the season has progressed. Leading into Christmas Day, NBA viewership increased every week of December, with an average week-over-week increase of 7%. The NBA games consistently ranked as the most viewed cable programs among the most coveted audiences. Streaming now accounts for nearly half, 42%, of all TV consumption. The NBA is addressing this change in consumption habits with new media deals, as every national game will be available on a streaming service beginning next season. The league is also increasing the number of regular season games on broadcast TV from 15 to 75. Caitlyn Clark is about to make yet another big move. The Indiana Fever star, already a household name in basketball, is preparing for a special appearance on the hugely popular New Heights podcast, hosted by none other than NFL brothers Jason and Travis Kelce. When the Kelce brothers broke the news on Wednesday, fans could not help but bust. Jason, in his signature detail-oriented style, took a moment to rattle off Caitlyn's long list of accomplishments. And honestly, even he sounded impressed. It's no small feat to summarize everything she's achieved at just 22 years old. Women's Health magazine got an exclusive sneak peek at the episode and shared some insights into the topics Caitlyn dives into, giving fans a taste of what to look forward to when the episode goes live. Caitlyn is equally excited about this. "I don't get excited about a lot of things, but this was at the top of my list," she said to the brothers with a huge smile. She is so excited that even Travis teased Jason, "We made it, Jason," as if the brothers were competing in a tournament, showing how much they love their guest. This podcast will be a treat for Caitlyn's fans and basketball lovers alike. According to Women's Health, which had an early look at the episode, there's much to look forward to, especially Caitlyn's reflections on her journey to the top of the basketball world. "That kind of balanced upbringing seems to have made all the difference. I was never in a rush," Caitlyn added. "My parents did such a good job of making sure I had a strong support system. It wasn't always about college recruitment or basketball, it was about having the right people around me." Now, just before the start of her sophomore season in the WNBA, being on the podcast of Brothers Kelce allows the public to see a different side of the slam-dunking, clutch three-point shooter. Caitlyn is thoughtful, down-to-earth, and, of course, endlessly passionate about the sport of basketball she loves. It's also a sign of her growing influence in the world of sports that Jason and Travis Kelce, known for hosting high-profile guests, were so eager to bring her on their show. With her talent, charisma, and inspiring story, it's no wonder she caught their attention. Clark discussed her long appreciation for the Chiefs and shut down rumors that she is a bandwagon fan of the Kansas City franchise. "My dad was a big Chiefs fan growing up, and people think I'm a bandwagon Chiefs fan, and I'm like, I was a fan before Patrick, Mahomes, and Travis were on the team," she said. "We've been big fans, and all the success you guys have had has made it a lot of fun." When asked who her favorite Chiefs player is, she said no one other than number 87. "I mean, obviously Travis is," Clark said as the Kelce brothers cheered. "I'm a big Patrick Mahomes fan too. The both of you are pretty great. You and Patrick especially just have that edge too, like that clutch factor, and a lot of people don't have that," she said. The trio also discussed Clark's history of attending Chiefs games and her connection to Chiefs general manager Brett Veach, who met Clark in 2022 while Iowa was in the Big Ten Championship and Veach was at the NFL Combine. Clark revealed that she first met Travis Kelce in Indianapolis while attending Taylor Swift's Eras Tour in November, as the Chiefs superstar was in town supporting his equally famous girlfriend. Swift, who has been dating the Kansas City Chiefs tight end since 2023, has had a historical past 2 years, heading a tour that accumulated a staggering $2,077,618,725 and surpassed Coldplay's $1 billion record to become the highest-grossing tour of all time. "My mom was begging me to take her, and she's like, I gotta go. Everybody's talking about it, and I'm like, okay, I literally live downtown next to Lucas Oil Stadium," she said. "It was a great show and a lot of fun, and I definitely turned my mom into a full Swiftie." Near the end of the podcast, the brothers asked Clark about her thoughts on the current state of basketball, particularly the NBA and the changes the league has made to its All-Star game and the addition of the in-season tournament. Kevin Durant said this, "But they should go back to the East versus West. That's the true All-Stars," she said. "I think that's what it should be, but I'm not the commissioner." Jason, the older of the two Kelce brothers, expressed his distaste for the NBA's in-season tournament, specifically the alternate floor colors for the teams, and that he believes the tournament doesn't mean crap. "I feel like it was a hit the first year, and it kind of toned down a little bit this year," she said. "But it's interesting. They're trying to spice it up a little bit." Much has been made this season about the NBA's apparent lack of viewership. When the brothers asked Clark why this is the case, the 22-year-old said the league's physicality has changed, and players are shooting more threes than ever, which might turn some fans away. "I feel like the average basketball fan doesn't understand how good NBA players are, and they think it looks like they're not trying. I promise you they're trying," she said. "I love three-point shooting. I love seeing guys launch threes, but not everybody loves that." While a report from Nielsen in December revealed that viewership for group play of the NBA's new tournament was down by 10% year-over-year, the league's 5 Christmas Day games averaged about 5.25 million viewers per contest across ABC. All year-over-year viewership increases. "The NBA is also competing against a lot of football right now, so you have to take that into consideration," she said. "Football is, that's America's favorite thing." The NBA's ratings have been a constant topic of conversation for the better part of 5 years, even though they should only matter to a handful of people in the league office and various network partners. There have been countless arguments about the state of the game and why it seems fans aren't watching as often as they used to, many of which, it should be said, have been steered by bad faith arguments about the league's politics. The reality is that television ratings are down for most everything that's not football, and the NBA cannot replicate the NFL's success for a variety of reasons, chief among them being that they do not play football. Still, that hasn't stopped the arguments and attempts to fix the NBA, with this season's focus being whether teams are taking too many three-pointers and driving away fans because the game has changed so much. The topic of NBA ratings breached the mainstream sports conversation once again on Thursday, when Caitlyn Clark was asked about it during an appearance on the New Heights podcast with Jason and Travis Kelce. Clark used the question to go to bat for the NBA, as she lauded the incredible skill of NBA players and said she felt part of the problem is that fans think players are so good that they make it seem like they're not trying. She also, unsurprisingly, does not think three-pointers are an issue, saying watching guys launch threes is one of her favorite things in the sport. Honestly, I feel like the average basketball fan doesn't understand how good NBA players are, and they think it looks like they're not trying, Clark said. I promise you they're trying, they're just like, so good. That's why it looks like they're not trying. And obviously the physicality of the league has changed a lot, and I wasn't around when it was much more physical, and maybe people want more beef and physicality and people think it's gone soft. But I think it's also because the skill has changed. That's what's great about basketball, it's always evolving. It's gonna be different than when MJ played. It's gonna be different in 10 years than it is now. So it's hard for me to put my finger on why it's gone down, and also it's competing against a lot of football right now, you have to take that into consideration. Football is that's America's favorite thing. I mean, I love three-point shooting. I love seeing guys launch threes, but not everybody loves that, so, I don't know. Clark is, of course, naturally inclined to enjoy the three-point shooting boom we are currently in, as she's part of that on the women's side, but I do think she makes some very good points overall. Her point about the game constantly evolving is a particularly important one because most of the conversations are being driven by people who are nostalgic for a past era that just doesn't exist anymore. Nostalgia drives a lot of things. There's a reason we are getting so many remakes and reboots in film and TV, but sports are the rare form of entertainment that will always press forward, albeit with splashes of nostalgia in the form of throwback uniforms. People always think things were at their best when they were growing up, and that is definitely the case with sports fans. Clark reminds everyone that the game is constantly evolving and always has, which she notes is a feature, not a bug.